They're the defending Conference USA tournament champs. This is right around the time a year ago when they really got hot down the stretch in early March. Blaze Cada tipping it up with Emmanuel Tshimanga, and the Aggies have the first possession in the home whites here today. The Aggies last in Conference USA in scoring, only averaging 70 points per game. Down low, Filipovity scores.
Boy, great execution, nice baseline screen, and Filipovity, who usually head fakes a few times, went right up with it. He knew how open he was.
They didn't play a lot because of foul trouble in half one on Thursday. Wound up scoring 16 points in 20 minutes in that tight loss against Middle Tennessee. A game in which the Aggies led for nearly 30 minutes. They led by 7 with 7 minutes left and could not finish. Cameron Weston's shot-making ability down the stretch was a big reason why Middle Tennessee got the win. Jaden Jackson rims in a three, only his third made three all year. He had a shoot it, the shot clock was down to 1. Jackson doesn't score much. He's already at his season average, 1 possession in. He only averages 3 points a game. Here's Zawdie Jackson with it, defended by Marshall on the switch. Mismatch with McHenry guarding Nate Tshimanga. So Nate's going to take advantage. Leans in and he banks it in.
Good patience by Nate Tshimanga. A little bit like Filipovity, where he waited for the play to open up a little bit.
5th straight start for Nate Tshimanga. This occurred a couple weeks ago when Jason Hooten said, you know what, I'm going to start the Tshimanga brothers together. And it's been working. Don McHenry with it. 27 in the first matchup for WKU. Braxton Bayless picks up his dribble. Stuffs it back out for Jackson. Shot clock winding again. Jackson working on Filipovity. Misses. Good box out by Emmanuel Tshimanga.
Yeah, Emmanuel couldn't get the ball, but he allowed his brother to get it.
Good start for the Aggies on offense. Filipovity with it. Back on the perimeter for Cook. 10 of 21 from the field for Cook 2 nights ago. He lost the handle, slapped away by McHenry. Cook defending. McHenry lays it in. McHenry averaging 17.5 points per game. Russ, he can really fill it up. The Aggies shut him down in this building for the most part a year ago. Yeah,
and he's left-handed, which makes him a little bit dangerous because you're not used to guarding a guy who goes left all the time.
Started his collegiate career at Division II Hawaii Hilo. Filipovity guarded by the much smaller Jaden Jackson. Filipovity from the foul line steps back, gets the friendly bounce. He made that shot a bunch 2 nights ago.
Yeah, and that's 3 baskets inside the paint for the Aggies to start the game. A great sign if they can just get a stop consistently on the defensive end.
We talked about this Thursday. He lost about 15 pounds when he was ill the last couple of weeks. He looks like he's moving better. And he grabs the rebound. He averages 8 rebounds a game, second best in CUSA. Sprint inside by Filipovity, and he tries to throw it off the body of Jackson. Emmanuel Tshimanga gets to the ball. Nate Tshimanga on the catch, and out of bounds was Jaden Jackson. Good hustle by the 7-footer, Emmanuel Tshimanga, who keeps getting better and better, Russ.
Yes, he's doing a lot of the little things. He's more versatile than he was at the beginning of the year. Bit of an unforced turnover with Christian Cook there, a rare turnover for him.
Aggies 3 of 3 from the field so far. Inbounder is Zawdie Jackson, gets it in for Cook, bounces to Emmanuel Tshimanga. His floater is good.
You know, they're looking for him more, and Emmanuel Tshimanga has given up on the head fake, the unnecessary head fake. He's much more effective when he just goes up with it.
Scored 8 points on Thursday in that loss against Middle Tennessee. Bayless, low block. Fires it out. Nice pass to Marshall, who steps into a 3, misses it wide right. What a clearance by Emmanuel Tshimanga, who rips it in.
You know, and he keeps improving as well.
Kick out. Jackson passes up the 3. Double clutches in midair, and he knocks down the mid-range jumper.
Well, for the first time that I can remember in the last few weeks, the Aggies are really clicking offensively to start the game. Their defense is always terrific, of course, but they're playing with much more confidence here offensively.
Yeah, the starts at home especially have not been very good on offense. Right now the Aggies ahead by a handful. 5 of 5 from the field. WKU 2 of 5 from the field so far. Christian Lander in the game now. He splashes in the 3. His 42nd made 3. He played well in the first matchup. He can really fill it up.
Yeah, he's the Indiana transfer, left-handed, goes left most of the time, which Jason Hooten said about 30 times yesterday in practice.
Jackson a kick out. Filipovity out of the corner. He's starting to make his threes. He is now 5 of 10 from 3 in his previous 6 games.
Wow, and maybe he's crossed a bridge in terms of we've wondered. He's got a good-looking shot, and he doesn't shoot a lot of them. He's pretty judicious about it, but if he can get untracked from 3, that would really help.
McHenry spins it off. Filipovity grabs another rebound, his second clearance. The Aggies are 6 of 6 from the field, make it 7 of 7, a 3 for Zawdie.
Wow, and that's the Aggies' first attempted 3 there. They're definitely looking inside sooner and more often than they have been in the past.
Russ, we've said it so often. Watch out for the Aggies if they get hot offensively. They're going to defend and rebound. If they can make shots, they're hard to beat. McHenry fouled, going to the rim, and that will take us to a media timeout. Aggies will bring in 4 subs during the media timeout. Osborne, Bostick, Harris, and Carpenter set to check in. 7 shots, 7 made shots for New Mexico State. They haven't missed. Zawdie Jackson a handful. 7 for Filipovity. The Aggies, Middle Tennessee, UTEP really needs that one. Nice bat away by Nate Tshimanga. He stays in. How about that? The only player who is in the starting 5 who stays in is Nate Tshimanga. Carpenter, Osborne, Harris, Bostick, first action for those guys today. Leroy Odiahi also came in right before the media timeout for WKU. There's Braxton Bayless, fires in the corner. Tyrone Marshall cans the 3. Don't let the Hilltoppers get hot. They connected on 18 made 3s in the first matchup. New Mexico State 5th in the country in 3-point defense, despite that game when they allowed 18.
That's right. They might be leading the nation in 3-point defense if it wasn't for that game.
It was an impressive second half a month ago in Bowling Green. WKU scored 59 in that game in half 2. First miss comes from Carpenter, but he tracks it down, and it goes out to Bostick at midcourt. Great hustle by Carpenter. One of 9 seniors going through senior day post-game, and we have an issue, it looks like, with the shot clock potentially. Yep. Shot clock to 24 instead of 14. That game in Bowling Green, it was a close game right before halftime. In fact, the Aggies were down only 3 with a minute left in the first half, and they lost that game by 32. They gave up 101. Can't imagine there's been many games in Jason Hooten's coaching tenure where he's allowed triple digits. Bostick to the rim. Picks up his dribble. Bostick needs to throw it up. He does. He missed it. Cleared by Odiahi. Push ahead by McHenry. Bostick really searching for his offense right now. He's only averaging 3.5 points per game in the previous 7. Good catch by Odiahi. Lander, step back, wing 3, too strong, and it bounces over the glass.
Yeah, something isn't quite clicking with Dionte Bostick, who was so good getting to the basket early in the year, and now he'll get into the lane and then seem completely unsure. He's totally confident getting next to the basket, and then he doesn't seem to know what to do. And I just want him to go up. If he gets the shot blocked, he gets it blocked or throw it to somebody, but he seems to go into the lane and then start making decisions after he's come to a stop. That could have been a 3-second violation, the last one.
Russ, he has 1,100-plus career points. We know he can score down there. He's done that his entire career. Carpenter has it stolen away. Here comes Don McHenry. And a foul called on Harris. McHenry probably should have made that. He'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, risky foul by Jaden Harris.
So now a little bit of a funk offensively. And this is one of the dangers, right, when you go pretty deep. I mean, that starting 5 unit was really clicking, but you have a bench. You bring in 4 new guys, and now the rhythm not quite there.
Well, and the decision-making, Robert Carpenter takes a couple dribbles this way, a couple dribbles that way, and without a clear purpose again. And I just think it's going to be hugely important for Carpenter and Bostick to start playing with confidence offensively.
1 of 2 for McHenry, one of the best free throw shooters in Conference USA, 84% this year. Filipovity brings the Aggies out of the backcourt. Jaden Harris, a step back 3, too strong. Snatched in by Odiahi. Aggies haven't scored in 2.5 minutes now. McHenry bounces off Carpenter and banks it in. He's a crafty finisher down low. Just under 18 tonight.
Well, and if I had $1 for every time I heard Jason Hooten say that McHenry and Landers are going to go to their left, I'd be a wealthy man after practice yesterday.
A lot of left-handers for WKU. We're going to see Jalen Dorsey off the bench at some point. He's a left-hander as well. Only 10 players in uniform for WKU today. Kick it out to Osborne, who doesn't shoot threes. Short corner, Filipovity. Help defense comes. Carpenter launches. Filipovity got a hand on it. And the pinball's in the hands of Leroy Odiahi. The Toppers can tie it or take a lead on this trip. Marshall for the lead. They're good. Rebound initially, Osborne. Good poke away by Jaden Jackson, but he could not save it in the corner. And the Hilltoppers won by 32 on February 1st in Bowling Green. A lot of made threes, 59 second half points for the Hilltoppers. Tyrone Marshall was really good in that game. So was McHenry and Lander. Now there's some pieces that played in that game for the Hilltoppers not with them today, including Enoch Kalambe, who's missing his 3rd straight game. Hilltoppers without 3 of their top 6 scorers. They found a way here in late February, early March. They've won 2 in a row. 7-point road win at UTEP Thursday. They led that game, though, by 25 in the first half at one juncture. It could have been a blowout, but UTEP made a nice second half comeback to make it a 2-possession game a couple of times. Filipovity with 4 to shoot. Filipovity has to shoot it. He does, and got rim, but Jack Edelin grabs the rebound. Edelin can score off the bench for WKU. Sophomore out of Louisville. There's Christian Lander. As Russ mentioned, the former Indiana Hoosier. Spent 2 years at IU. Working on Cook to the rim. Big shot too strong. High snatch by Carpenter. The Aggies haven't made a field goal in about 5 minutes when Zawdie Jackson made that 3-pointer. Carpenter the bounce, good cut by Filipovity, who stays patient down low.
Yeah, there's 2 head fakes and gets 3 guys off the ground and makes the reverse layup. He's just so smart under the basket, Peter Filipovity.
This pass as well by Carpenter, post to post. 3-pointer for Edelin. He's wide open, way off. The Aggie lead as high as 8 in this first half. Jackson is held on his way to the rim.
Can we talk about Odiahi?
Absolutely, Russ.
Well, he's from Tralee, Ireland, where I coached for a couple of years, where I had Brandon Mason, MVP of the league. Odiahi going out of the game now, but and here's Robert Carpenter with a nice pass to. Look at that, great head fakes. Anyway, Odiahi's from Ireland.
You had a chance to talk to him before the game.
Yes, he was surprised to meet someone that knew all of his teammates in every pub in town.
And you told me earlier it's pronounced Tralee, right? Not Tralee?
Tralee, as in the
Tralee.
Rose of Tralee. It's the famous beauty contest.
Filipovity might have injured his arm or his shoulder on that spin move. He was fouled. I think it's going to lead to free throws. He's in some pain right now.
And there's Odiahi, the Irish native.
Undercut a little bit by Jackson, I think, right here. Looks like Filipovity is okay. Still trying to stretch out his right arm. Says I'm fine. 67% free throw shooter. All of a sudden now he's a dangerous three-point shooter as well. That's been the problem in his game this year, shooting the 3-ball. He's only 21%, but he's 5 of 10 in his previous 6 games, including this game from 3. And he gets 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. 5-point Aggie lead. Approaching the 10-minute mark here in half 1. Huge game for conference tournament seeding with only 2 left to play after today. The Aggies need to find a way to protect the home floor. Blaze Cada up and under move with Emmanuel Tshimanga, and a late foul was called on Emmanuel.
Well, Tshimanga had him, but then he jumped at the head fake as well and wound up giving up a foul.
Now, Cada does struggle from the free throw line, so Emmanuel is going to make him earn them. 12 of 18 this year for the redshirt senior. Former Nebraska Cornhusker. Looked pretty good in that one. WKU third in Conference USA in free throw percentage as a squad, 73%. They're averaging 77 points per game. Similar to Middle Tennessee from Thursday as far as that goes. Strong defense, the Aggies, versus a strong offense, WKU. Edelin picks up Zawdie Jackson. Jackson, Cook, Emmanuel Tshimanga, Filipovity, and Harris on the floor. Jackson swings it for Cook. Hasn't attempted a shot yet today. Mid-post for Tshimanga, the 6'11 K to defend. And Emmanuel gets bailed out. I think he was going to look for a sky hook in the lane right there, Russ. That was his maneuver going towards that CUSA logo.
Well, and maybe the jump hook. You don't think the old-fashioned...
I don't know, maybe. Let's see your sky hook coming up, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? We'll never know. If he was allowed to take an extra step there, he was going to be put in a tough spot. Jackson will enter for Tshimanga. Harris passes up the three, pull-up jumper, good for Jaden Harris.
Yeah, Jaden Harris always had a good medium-range game. He can pull up after a dribble or two.
Aggie offense starting to find their groove again, ahead by 6. Hilltoppers haven't made a field goal in over 3 minutes. Another bad miss by Edelin, way off twice so far today. Harris, Cook, his three, too strong. Filipovity had pretty good positioning, battling with Edelin. Jackson launches, he's way off, crashing is Harris. Another chance, a third chance opportunity here. Jackson surges in the key, kick out. Filipovity, a wing triple. Jackson tracks it down. He zigzags. Harris for 3. Filipovity, the offensive rebound. Hilltoppers can't find a loose ball right now. This could be huge. Jackson in the key. He's stripped, and it's grabbed by Bayless. Edelin running the floor, going after the 7-footer. Shot no good. Good verticality by Emmanuel Tshimanga.
And that rule has changed over the years, Adam. At one time, that would have been, in my era, that would have been a foul.
Yep.
Edelin would be shooting 2 free throws.
Excellent defense here for WKU. Making the Aggies work for it. Penetration by Jackson. Seemed like Keita brought his arms down. No call. Pinballs around and grabbed by Blaze Keita. And the big man double dribble. That is not what Hank Plona, the first-year head coach for the Hilltoppers, wants to see, is 6'11 Blaze Keita on the open floor, putting the ball on the deck. Just grab the ball, jump stop, and look for a guard, right?
Well, that's right. And now we'll get a chance to see Gabe Pickens, freshman guard, in the game here.
First turnover for WKU. They only average 11 turnovers per game. The Aggies also only averaging 11 per game. Pickens running the point. The Aggies run Cook off a screen. Bayless picks him up. Media timeout, next dead ball. The Aggies ahead by 6, trying to extend their advantage. Bostick on the catch. Spin move, fade away, contested jumper way short, and it's batted out of bounds by Emmanuel Tshimanga. Aggies and Millers haven't made a field goal in 5 minutes. Aggie lead is 6, WKU with the basketball. Hilltoppers going with Bayless, Lander, Odiahi, Marshall, and Jackson on the floor in the red. Playing their road finale today. Emmanuel Tshimanga just rips it away from Leroy Odiahi. Emmanuel's playing well. The flip to Cook, checked by Bayless on defense. Pickens running the point. Jackson on the bench right now for New Mexico State. Pickens still with it. The bounce and the curl for Cook. Straight arm jumper, short. Cook 0 of 2 from the field. He's scoreless. Lander in transition. He lost it. Bostick pushes. No numbers. Cook's open on the wing. The Aggies don't find him, though. Tshimanga to Tshimanga. Nate on the finish. The helper from Emmanuel.
Well, they actually played pretty well together. And, up until fairly recently, it was one or the other that was in the game. Uh-oh, Emmanuel's got a shoe untied.
Rush, you see some driveway stuff sometimes with the Tshimanga brothers. I'm sure they played a lot of games in their driveway growing up.
Yeah, that wasn't the first time they passed to each other for a basket, I bet.
Combination works for a while there. The Tshimanga brothers never played together on the floor, but right now they play together on the same time on the floor. Emmanuel the rebound. Cook in transition. Lowers his heads on Jackson. Fadeaway jumper. No good. Emmanuel Tshimanga bats it out to Bostick. Cook, NBA range 3. Oh, yeah. Timeout, Hank Plona. Western Kentucky has not been a good rebounding team this year. They are second worst in rebound margin in Conference USA. Meanwhile, rebounding has kind of been a staple for the Aggies again, especially the last couple of weeks. That was a big part of their road sweep last week in Jacksonville and Kennesaw. Hilltoppers haven't scored in over 4 minutes. There's Tyrone Marshall. He lost it. Aggie ball.
Well, that's what you just said, Adam, happens all the time with the Jason Hooten coach team. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, holding the other team without a basket.
We saw a couple of shot clock violations for Middle Tennessee Thursday. It was a really good first half on defense Thursday, and then a struggle in half two. Carpenter on the catch. Back out for Pickens. Ball reversal to Bostick. Open three, Gabe Pickens. Shorts. That's one he has to take.
Yeah, and looked good. I thought that was in.
Pickens has only attempted 25 threes during his freshman year. He's made 7 of them. McHenry lost it going up. Sky and high, Bostick to collect. Under 5 left, the Aggies with their biggest lead. Bostick to the rim, and he got wrapped up by McHenry. First foul on Don McHenry, and Dionte Bostick, one of those seniors on senior day, will shoot a pair.
Well, this is where Dionte Bostick is at his best, is going at the basket, often challenging bigger guys. But he's just struggled in the last month, and I can't put my finger on it. It's just one of those things. It's not for lack of effort.
Russ, remember how good he was around the rim, going to the hoop in the pit in early December? I mean, that was his best game of the year. Scored 17. Kind of had his way offensively on the dribble drive against a really good UNM defense.
And a bigger defense as well. So he's usually fearless about challenging the big guys going to the basket. But for whatever reason, he's just a little bit out of sync.
Bostick went scoreless Thursday for the first time all season. Played 16 minutes, and he misses both free throws. Still scoreless today. That free throw line has been a hamper his entire career. McHenry, a floater. No good. Scoreless drought continues. Carpenter pulls in the rebound. Hilltoppers haven't scored in 5.5 minutes. Bostick lost it, grabbed it, got it back, then he got bumped. His only team foul, number 5, on WKU. Yeah, you can tell right now, Bostick is searching for it offensively. And he can still impact the game on defense. Jason Hooten talked earlier this week about the plus-minus last week for Bostick. He wasn't scoring much, but his plus-minus was really good. The Aggies were playing well when he was on the floor because he was rebounding, distributing, and defending. He doesn't have to score, but if he can add some scoring, that could help the offense for sure.
Yeah, he's usually the best rebounder of the guards.
Bostick from the wing for 3. Missed it short. Jackson collects. Hilltoppers shooting 29% from the field. Pull up for Jackson. Pinball's off, and Carpenter gets another rebound. That is Carpenter's 3rd already. Bostick back to the arc. Carpenter straight on. Way off. These are good looks.
Yeah, nice pass by Dionte Bostick.
Marshall attacks on Filipovity. Pickens grabs the rebound on the strong side.
Well, Pickens went up as if he was going to block that and really distracted the shooter. It was a risky move by Gabe Pickens, but it turned out to be a smart gamble.
Hilltoppers haven't scored in over 6 minutes. The Aggies haven't scored in over 2 minutes here. Not really taking advantage of this extended drought. The lead is only 11. Filipovity looking for a cutter. Now he's isolated with a smaller defender, Jackson. Pickens sends it in the corner. Carpenter buries the 3 in front of the Hilltopper bench.
And I keep saying this about Gabe Pickens. I think he's got huge potential. That was an excellent pass by Gabe Pickens. And nobody's happier than me when Robert Carpenter bangs one in from 3. The Aggies really need him to be an offensive threat.
It's been almost 10 minutes without a Hilltopper made field goal. That'll snap it as Marshall knocks down the 3. The scoreless drought was 7 minutes, but it was free throws, so the first made field goal in almost 10 minutes for WKU. They're probably fortunate to only be trailing by 11 right now. They really struggled in half 2 Thursday against UTEP. Built a 25-point lead in half 1 and struggled in half 2. Filipovity is fouled going up. Liberty has now won 6 in a row, and they control their own destiny down the stretch. In Conference USA, they're currently in first. Filipovity is 1 out of 2. Lead is a dozen. Bayless, good catch by Lander. Marshall, Jackson, and Jalen Dorsey also on the floor for WKU. Driving a kick to Bayless, lost it, Osborne the steal. Has Filipovity to his left, he's going to attack. Osborne missed it strong. What a rebound by Carpenter. What a rebound by Carpenter. Jump ball, possession to WKU. Russ, that may have been one of the very best rebounds we've seen in Carpenter's career. Look at this.
Wow. And that was
talk about going up with force.
And that was the exact right call, too, as well. And Jacoby Osborne with great defensive effort to cause that turnover. Couldn't get the fast break layup to go down.
The shots are going to fall for Carpenter. That is what Jason Hooten is asking for. Just crash the glass. Rebound for us. And he's done that this year.
Yes.
About 3 rebounds a game a year ago. 6 rebounds per game this year for Carpenter. A lot of those have been offensive. Marshall launches another 3. This one short. Filipovity, his 5th rebound. 1:40 left. Filipovity to the rim. Off balance, missed it. Osborne the offensive rebound. Poked away, and they're going to say Osborne touched it last. And Jason Hooten telling Jacoby, just go up with it. The Aggies now have 7 offensive rebounds, 0 for WKU. It's been 1 shot and done for them. Marshall to the rim, and he's fouled going up. Rush, you're not going to put away WKU at halftime, but if you can stretch this out to 15 or 16, you could really make it tough early on in half 2 for the Hilltoppers.
That's right. The Aggies want them going up to the locker room thinking, well, we won at El Paso. It's not the end of the world if we don't win this one. We want them satisfied to split the road trip. But Hank Plona might have different ideas.
They really struggled in half 2. I mean, they had to survive in El Paso. They led by 25 at one point in the first half. They gave up 50 points in half 2. So it was a 25-point lead. It was 17 at halftime, and they only won by 7. It was a 4-point game a couple of times late in that game 2 nights ago. Their depth is a big issue right now. Without 3 of their top 6 scorers, only 10 players in uniform. So everybody's pretty much playing right now for the Hilltoppers, for the most part in uniform. Corner 3, Carpenter. Made from that spot earlier. What a rebound there, collected by Lander, who's 6'3". Filipovity got a hand on it and then stole it. He just stuck his hand out. Cook transition. Sneaks inside, and Cook is blocked away by Odiahi. Odiahi touched it last, and the Aggies have it. Cook thought he was fouled. Emmanuel Tshimanga is coming in. He will come in for Carpenter. Shots just not falling for Carpenter. 1 of 5 from 3. He is now 2 of 18 from 3 in his previous 4 games, including today. But he's rebounding. 3 rebounds for Carpenter. Doing a good job on the offensive glass in particular. Popping out. Jackson, his 3 way off. Filipovity right there. Shows Emmanuel Tshimanga, and he gets tied up. Aggies with the arrow.
Well, another offensive rebound for the Aggies.
Russ, are they just beating WKU to loose balls right now?
Yeah, and I think it's, Western Kentucky they're a little tired from the game in El Paso. They're at an altitude they're not used to. And
Henry guarding Filipovity. Fadeaway jumper, good.
And they're shorthanded, man. And they've got 2 or 3 of their key players out. With Thedford and Enoch is out as well.
Leander, NBA range 3, way off. Emmanuel Tshimanga gathers his 6th first half rebound. The Aggies can have the final shot and chase player of the week. 13 and 5 for Filipovity in half 1. Jackson with it, angles off to the wing. The freshman Osborne on the floor. Popping out Filipovity, backdoor. Cook in the key, knocks down the jumper 10 feet away.
Perfect pass by Jacoby Osborne. I wondered what he was doing with that. I didn't think, as we see a near miss, I was wondering what Jacoby Osborne was doing, but he really threaded the needle there. Beautiful. It was Western Kentucky that surprised everyone and came through and made the NCAA tournament last year, and it wouldn't be impossible if they could. I wonder if they can get everybody healthy. Would they get some of these guys healthy by then, Adam?
I don't think so, Russ. I think this is what they're going to have to work with here in a couple of weeks. Hilltoppers made their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2013, a year ago. They played Marquette in the NCAA tournament. Kick out, Braxton Bayless rims off the 3. Pulled in by Nate Tshimanga. Hilltoppers coach left. Steve Lutz was only at Bowling Green for a year. He went to Oklahoma State. So Hank Plona, who was an assistant under Steve Lutz, took over. Filipovity had 2 defenders around him. Foul is called on the Hilltoppers. Russ, Hank Plona, a very successful JUCO head coach. He was at Indian Hills for 8 years in Iowa as their head coach, and he was about as successful as anybody can be at one level.
That's right, and he had, Aggie fans will remember his great post player Ivan Orocochea, the Spanish player who did so well for the Aggies.
Cook's 3 is good. Christian Cook, his second made 3. He has 8. A lot of the current players for WKU played for Hank Plona at one point at Indian Hills, including McHenry, who has the ball. Exchanges for Odiahi, who played at Indian Hills as well. There's Tyrone Marshall. Jackson to Bayless, who also played at Indian Hills. Jackson's shot is good. Jalen Jackson has 5. He made the first points of the game for WKU today.
And now he starts off the half for them.
Jackson played for Steve Lutz at Texas A&M Corpus Christi before coming to WKU. Cook, right left, offensive rebound, Emmanuel Tshimanga. That's number 7. Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's just, poor Hank Polona's team, they're undermanned with the 3 injuries, and the road trip is tough. They're exhausted from the win in El Paso the other night. They just do not have the bounce in their step yet. Now that can change. There's still plenty of time left.
Size is pretty good for WKU. 2 6'11" post players. It hasn't mattered today, though. Filipovity, rainbow jumper on the fadeaway.
He's a little like Dirk Nowitzki sometimes, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a good comparison.
Now, last time I compared Jacoby Osborne to Michael Cooper, and his man got an open 3. So I've got to be careful on exaggerating the comparisons.
Bayless swings it for Marshall. He knocks down a 3. His third made 3. He made 4 threes in the first matchup. Marshall only averages 10.5 points per game, but he is more than capable of scoring 20 plus. He's in double figures now with 11. Post touch, Emmanuel Tshimanga. Jump hook, slips in for Emmanuel. He has 4.
I was a little surprised that Emmanuel, his jersey was being held, although he didn't move at all. I think sometimes you got to move if you're going to have a holding call.
Marshall fires it for Kada. 2 Tshimanga's there, and he throws it away. Intercepted, Filipovity. Spins away from Bayless. Filipovity still with it. Throws it out for Emmanuel Tshimanga. Jackson back to Emmanuel. Steps in, got tripped up, stayed on his feet, and he banked it in. Timeout, Hank Plona.
Wow, great balance by Emmanuel Tshimanga.
But you go back to the last couple of weeks, this could be 4 wins in the previous 5 games. They're really trending up late February, early March now.
Yeah, there's a sense of regret for me personally, Adam, in that, I just think if Filipovity hadn't have got sick, things could have been very different.
And I think if you replayed that UTEP game, who knows what happens, because Filipovity played that night and was severely sick. Played, I think, 20 minutes that night, didn't do much. Foul called on Emmanuel Tshimanga.
And I always hope Jason Hooten has the sound turned down when I don't want to make excuses for him, but it just, to lose Filipovity, he's maybe the one guy the Aggies cannot lose.
Corner 3, Marshall. He's the one guy that's really been good offensively today for WKU. 14 of the 28 for the Hilltoppers coming from one player, Tyrone Marshall Jr. He's having to do way more with all those players out. 3 of the top 6 scorers out for WKU. Short corner for Emmanuel Tshimanga. Was looking for a cutter. Going to back down the defender. Gets stripped away, and then Nate Tshimanga pulls it in. One on the timer. Jackson connects from 3.
Well, smart move by Nate Tshimanga. He's a good passer. Both the Tshimanga brothers are pretty good passers.
Odiahi back on the arc for Christian Lander. He's coming off the bench again today. He's been dealing with a back injury. Marshall, step back 3. Filipovity, rebound number 6. It's not just the scoring, Russ, with Filipovity. He rebounds, he defends, everything runs through him, so your offense completely changed when he was out.
Well, he can obviously he can bring the ball up the court, as we just saw him do.
Working on Lander. This is the turnaround jumper. Pulled in by Odiahi. Aggies had made 4 straight shots from the field before that miss. Marshall, teardrop. Filipovity, another board, his 7th. Media timeout coming up. Zawdie Jackson maneuvers around the Tshimanga ball screen, pulls up, foul line jumper, no good. Jack Edelin grabs the rebound. He's back in for WKU. Lander, corner 3. Christian Lander makes his 2nd 3 tonight, his 43rd of the year.
Well, Adam, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the Aggies have run out of gas a few times this year, and I hope they're not getting complacent thinking, well, Western Kentucky's just going to die and we've got this one sealed up.
Filipovity, Jackson, the Tshimanga brothers, and Cook on the floor. And Filipovity was held by Jaden Jackson. Foul number 3 on the Hilltoppers in half number 2.
And again, the Aggies have struggled down the stretch a little bit, just run out of gas a few times this year.
Dionte Bostick now in, so is Robert Carpenter and Gabe Pickens for the Aggies. Bostick will get to the free throw line. I wonder exactly what Jason Hooten was saying to Dionte before halftime. He was talking to Dionte before everybody went up in the locker room. Maybe try to be more aggressive and look for your shot when you get in the paint like this, because he was a little more aggressive right there, Russ.
Yes, and that play was clearly designed for Bostick. So I think Jason Hooten's trying to get him going here.
First point of the week for Dionte. Held scoreless Thursday for the first time all year. A young man who started his collegiate career and played a lot at Murray State, a really good mid-major program. Went to CSUN, where he was 15 a game a year ago. Only 7 a game this year. He's had a different role than what he had a year ago. He was the main guy at CSUN. Here, he's more of a role player. And the Aggies would love just a little bit of offense down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't think that the Aggies are intending for him to be a role player. I think they were hoping that he would be one of their main guys. And that could still happen.
Side step 3 is way off for McHenry. Cook, the rebound. Western Kentucky, one and done. They still do not have an offensive rebound. New Mexico State has snatched 9 offensive rebounds, 0 for WKU. Rolling Nate Tshimanga glides to the rim, misses. Bostick trying to grab it. We get a held ball. The Aggies have the possession arrow. It is effortless athleticism for Nate Tshimanga, just gliding to the rim, just couldn't quite finish. Cook lobs it in for Bostick. Back to Christian Cook. Cook, step back out of the corner. Tshimanga trying to grab it. And it's pulled in by Jaden Jackson. No numbers. He'll speed down the floor anyway, and he's fouled going up by Bostick.
Well, and that's the first fast break basket the Aggies have given up that I remember. Was there another one? I think that might have been the first fast break basket.
There was a play in a key juncture Thursday when Issa Mustafa, the big man for Middle Tennessee, beat everybody down the floor at 6'10".
Well, that's what I mean about the Aggies maybe being seeming a little gassed at the end of that game, because as great, Mustafa's a tremendous player. He had 16 points and 16 rebounds in El Paso today, but he's not a runner.
Been a pretty good day offensively for Jaden Jackson. He now has 6. He only averages 3 a game. He was a scorer a couple of years ago at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, where he played for former Hilltopper head coach Steve Lutz. He was the Southland Tournament MVP in 2023. Scored 22 in the NCAA tournament that season in that play-in game, the first round game against SEMO, which was a win for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. SEMO, Southeast Missouri State, won the Ohio Valley Conference regular season on Thursday night. Spinning is Filipovity, slings it out for Pickens. Back to Peter. Hard move to the rim, falling down, had to throw it up. Grabbed by Odiahi. Good catch by Lander. Push out, Marshall, step in 3. Almost an offensive rebound for the Hilltoppers. Couldn't quite grab it. Filipovity squirts out to Pickens. The Aggies numbers if they hurry. Bostick to the rim. He's going up, and he got blocked by Odiahi. Last touch by Bostick. Wow. Well, Odiahi certainly had his hands coming down. I assume he got all ball on that one. Let's see here. Wow. There was a lot of arm.
Yeah.
There was a lot of arm.
Seemed like there was from that angle. We don't want to pick on the Irish guys, though.
I think Odiahi initially got ball and then came down on Bostick's arm. It was the right idea by Dionte, just go right after the big fella. Lander pitches it out to McHenry. Osborne defends. McHenry only has 5 points. 15-foot floater for Don McHenry.
Boy, he looked very good there, didn't he? Sort of a teardrop off 1 foot.
Started his collegiate career at Division II Hawaii Hilo. Then he went to Indian Hills, where he played for Hank Plona. He was a first-team JUCO All-American there. Carpenter fouled going up. That might have been a makeup call. I don't think Carpenter got fouled on that one, but the Aggies will take it, and Carpenter will get free throws.
Yeah, pretty smooth move by McHenry, the Milwaukee kid.
Carpenter, 71% free throw shooter, grad student from Detroit, playing his final home game today. He's been in single digits in 6 of the previous 7. Makes 1 of 2. Gives him 4 points for the game. Need a 3-pointer in half 1. Breaks a scoreless drought of 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Lead is still 15 though. McHenry spinning, that floater short. Excellent defense by the freshman Osborne.
Yeah, he's a really smart defender.
Bostick to the rim again, trying to stuff in that one. Comes down hard on his back. For Sam Houston, Lamar Wilkerson, Cameron Hoofner, probably those 2 guys most notably. It's going to be a cool twist for Jason next weekend.
Yeah, I'll bet it's a classy group, the Sam Houston, the whole program. And it won't shock me if they drag Jason Hooten out to half court for that one.
I know he went back to graduation for some of his guys a year ago. We should note this as well, and this hasn't been out there publicly much, but the academic success the last 2 years under Jason has been unbelievable. The best the program's ever been academically. I mean, it's off the charts. So I want to note that as well. 51-34. Christian Lander on the dribble. Guarded by Osborne on the switch. Now Pickens picks up McHenry. Every catch is difficult. Bayless, Lander, 10 to shoot. Lander to the rim. Osborne bumped him at the very last moment.
Yeah, just a great series by the Aggies, and we'll have to look at it again, but Osborne bailed him. Jacoby Osborne, who's been a terrific defender for freshmen, might have bailed him out there.
Two free throws for an 80% free throw shooter, Christian Lander, who's been battling a back injury recently. Out of Evansville, Indiana, former high school top 30 recruit. His father played football for the Hilltoppers under Jack Harbaugh. Of course, the father of Jim and John Harbaugh, the NFL head coaches, and Jack was a very successful head coach in football at WKU. Pickens, Carpenter, Osborne, Bostick, and Filipovity on the floor on offense. Pickens to a streaking Osborne. He traveled twice, I think. He traveled when he caught it as well.
Yeah, they only called one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cook coming in for Jacoby. Only one player in double figures on both sides right now. 15 for Filipovity for the Aggies, 14 for Marshall for WKU. Lander driving the pitch out to Bayless, who's been held in check today. He's been really playing well. Bayless hasn't scored yet. He'll try to get points at the free throw line. He's averaging 20.5 points per game in his previous two coming in. Had a game-winning layup last weekend against La Tech. But he's done nothing offensively today. Grad transfer from Niagara. Played for Hank Plona at Indian Hills a couple years ago. Only a 61% free throw shooter. He's been all over the country. He's out of Ankeny, Iowa. That's his hometown. Went to JUCO in Iowa at Indian Hills and then went to Niagara. And now he's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. First point of the night for Braxton Bayless. 51-37. The Aggies leaving the door slightly cracked right now for the Hilltoppers, almost midway through half two. Pickens still on the bounce. Carpenter the ball screen. Carpenter posting up the defender. Pickens will send it to him. Sloppy possession so far. Now Filipovity on the catch. Backdoor, Carpenter was wide open. Good find by Filipovity. I think he thought Carpenter was more wide open than Carpenter thought he was.
That's right. I was going to say Carpenter, I think, surprised himself by being so open.
Filipovity reads the defense so well. Lander, contested three. Pinballs off. Filipovity approaching a double-double. One rebound shy. Pickens will initiate the offense, gets the play call from his bench. Ball screen, Carpenter. Pickens, mid-post, Carpenter. Fall-away jumper, that's a tough shot.
And it's constantly Gabe Pickens making the right pass time after time. And
he could have shot that there, but he passed it up.
I was going to say, that would have been a perfectly good shot for him to take.
Filipovity sagging off on Jackson, who's only attempted 11 threes this year, but he attacks and scores anyway. McHenry defending Pickens. 8 points for Cook in the game. He's only attempted 9 shots today. Carpenter the finger roll. Timeout, Hank Plona again.
And another perfect feed from Gabe Pickens.
He may be the best athlete on this team, and that's saying something. Osborne, great athlete. There's a bunch of guys. Nate Tshimanga, great athlete. Carpenter may be the best of them, and he's starting to score around the rim a little bit. Lander, blocked by Carpenter.
Yes, I was going to say he's certainly the quickest jumper, and there it was.
Corner three, Harris. Long rebound, Jackson. Touch pass, Cook. Missed it short. Nate Tshimanga battling for it. Harris whips it out for Jackson, and Jason Hooten says reset. 11 offensive rebounds, 0 for WKU.
Wow.
Carpenter, fadeaway jumper, blocked by Marshall, grabbed by Lander. Push ahead Bayless, fumbled initially, blocked by Carpenter, grabbed by Zawdie Jackson. 5-on-3 if the Aggies hurry. Carpenter, no good. Nate Tshimanga was hammered down low. He was shoved in his back.
Well, Carpenter with a couple great blocks. He couldn't get the three to go down.
Not a bad foul by WKU, though, because this is 1-and-1 coming up for a young man, Nate Tshimanga, who has struggled mightily from the free throw line. That was foul number 7 on the Toppers. Nate Tshimanga, 6 of 29 at the stripe. Wow. Throw the numbers out the window, Russ. Who cares about stats?
That was perfect. That hardly moved the net.
I can confidently say Nate Tshimanga has not gone 2 of 2 from the stripe in a trip this year, and he knocks down both. Lead is 20. Danger zone for the Hilltoppers as we approach the under 8 media. Jack Edelin's been way off on his 2 3-point tries today. Marshall bullies his way down low. Still 0 offensive rebounds for the Hilltoppers.
And Nate did a good job defensively and then came back to rebound that one.
The Aggies are plus 21 on the glass. That was the key stat in their 2 wins on the road last week in Jacksonville and Kennesaw. They were a combined plus 22 in those 2 games last week. They were minus 2 Thursday against Middle Tennessee. Jackson snakes around the defense. 4 to shoot. Pull-up jumper, Jaden Harris. Tipped out, and it's going to be Hilltopper basketball. It seemed like Odiahi touched it. Daniel Baccio, the preseason player of the year.
Yeah, I'm not counting Louisiana Tech out. I mean, a year ago, we didn't think Western Kentucky was going to run through the league tournament, and they did. They did not win the regular season, but were terrific in the tournament, so anything can happen.
I really think it's going to come down to matchups and avoiding that Tuesday first-round day, because winning 4 games in the tournament is going to be really tough. So if you can play Wednesday or Thursday and avoid day 1 and just get straight to the quarterfinals, you have a much better shot. Lander misses, snatched in by Nate Tshimanga, his 4th rebound. And I also think, too, Russ, it's a better advantage to play Thursday instead of Wednesday. I don't think that off day on Thursday for a team is great.
Yeah, that's right.
I think if you can go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that gives you the best chance. And right now the Aggies in position for one of those seeds to do that. Under 10 to shoot, Jackson a step back 3, rattles off. Harris gliding high in the air, trying to tip it out, couldn't do so. The flip to Lander, straight on 3. Hilltoppers looking for that first offensive rebound. They will not get it. Dorsey could have gone after it. I think he's surprised why it's not Hilltopper ball. It was off the miss. Nobody touched it for New Mexico State on the rebound. Russ, what do you want to see in the final 6:20 from New Mexico State here, as Nate Tshimanga gets called for an illegal screen?
Well, we don't want to see that. I mean, I think the Aggies need to run clock each time down the floor, move the ball, and an offensive rebound might mean, rather than, well, this is the last thing, the absolute last thing you want your big guy to do is to get a foul 70 feet from the basket. But I think if there is an offensive rebound, the Aggies have been pounding the offensive boards. It might not mean a putback. It might mean throw the ball back out and run some more clock.
Hilltoppers haven't scored in 3.5 minutes. Marshall's had a good half. Working on Nate Tshimanga. Lander has to heave a 3, missed it short. Harris couldn't quite grab it. And it's going to be Hilltopper ball on the end line.
Not all bad for Jaden Harris. You have to be careful about saving the ball under your own basket.
This is a statistical difference you don't see very often. 0 offensive rebounds for WKU, a dozen for New Mexico State. Aggies plus 21 overall in rebounding. Jack Edelin back on the arc. Marshall 3-point struggles continue for the Hilltoppers, and a foul is called on Dorsey on the rebound. Russ, this is a clinic on boxing out and not giving an opponent a second chance opportunity.
I don't know if I've ever been involved in a basketball game at any level where the opponent didn't get an offensive rebound. And I just think it has to do with Western Kentucky's tired, they're shorthanded. Maybe they're fortunate to win in El Paso. That's a great place to win. And they just do not have the energy today.
1-1 for Dionte Bostick. That was foul number 8 on the Toppers. Free throw no good. Nate Tshimanga the offensive rebound. 13, and that was deflected. Aggie ball. Russ, does Jason Hooten during practice work on rebounding drills more than other head coaches you've seen in the past?
I wouldn't say so. I think what at the heart of Jason Hooten is he's incredibly stubborn and incredibly strong-willed. And I think a lot of what happens with that, I mean, we're playing with Division II transfers and guys who are on the bench at other schools, and they're still pretty darn good. I think it's surely through his will and his...
There's a shot clock violation. No change in possession. The Aggies did not know it. Turnover.
I think it's often just through the sheer force of his personality. Did I tell you he came over to me during practice yesterday and told me to put my phone away? And you know what I did? I put my phone away. He wants everybody locked in, and it doesn't matter if you're the last player on the team or a washed-up ex-coach like me. We're all going to be locked in.
5.5 left. Lead is 20. Scoreless drought is over. 4 minutes for the Hilltoppers on the road here on their road finale. And Bayless just threw it behind Dorsey. Hilltoppers all out of sync right now. This is an offense that could not miss in half one Thursday in El Paso, and they've been out of sync all day. They've made some shots from 3. They've made 7, but they've attempted 25, and they've committed 10 turnovers now. Up top, Nate Tshimanga. Bostick on the exchange. Cook on the curl. Cook, floater, no good, but he'll get free throw.
He looked like he was fouled twice on that one. Nice little curl around the screen for Christian Cook.
Aggies are only shooting 39%. If they don't get it above 40, this would be 3 straight games below 40%. They're 6 of 24 from 3, 9 of 15 from the free throw line. So the shooting number is not great. The rebounding's been exceptional. The defense has been really good again.
He looks confused by the call. They don't call him like that at the Trellis Sports Complex. He was more likely.
You know that from experience.
That's right.
Foul was on Jaden Jackson. That was his 5th, and depth is an issue for the Hilltoppers. They only have 10 players dressed here today. It's a 2-shot foul for Cook, who buries the first free throw. He had kind of been struggling from the line. 2 of 5 from the free throw line in his previous 3 games coming in. Carpenter had a really good stretch earlier in this half. He comes in for Nate Tshimanga. One of 2 for Christian Cook. The Aggies had their biggest lead today. The Toppers haven't scored in 5 minutes. Edelin's floater is short. And Jackson strips. Odiahi, and Jackson is bumped. That's 2 shots the rest of the way for New Mexico State now.
Well, good hustle by Zawdie Jackson to recover that one.
Russ, going back to your coaching days, when did you want to peak? I mean, I know you don't want to peak too early going into the conference tournament. Was this the time of the year when you really wanted to play well, those final couple weeks in the regular season going into the postseason?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Well, in my experience, Adam, the conference tournament is generally 3 games in 3 days. You're going to have to win 3 games in 3 days, and that means it's going to have to be depth and athleticism. A deeper team is, of course, it doesn't do as much good the first game, but in the 3rd game in 3 days, depth and athleticism are hugely important. And the Aggies are, for example, Gabe Pickens have to play well 3 games in a row.
Jackson in double figures now with 10. Pickens comes in for Zawdie. If you're an Aggie fan, you have to like the depth. The depth, I think, has gotten better as the season has gone on, with guys like Osborne playing a lot of minutes now. Nate Tshimanga playing more than he was playing about a month ago. You might need Carl Scherenfant. Certainly Gabe Pickens as well, as Russ mentioned. Marshall back on the arc for McHenry. He's been really quiet in this half. He has 10 now, but it's been a quiet second half for Don McHenry.
A little zone pressure here, 2-2-1.
Filipovity has to get it across. He does to Dionte Bostick. Fires it for Pickens. And Jason Hooten says, use clock. With the shot clock approaching 10. 4:10 left in the game. It's been all Aggies the entire night. Post touch, Filipovity spinning. Lost it off his leg. Grabbed by Tyrone Marshall. Marshall trying to skip it for Edelin. Finally gets it to him. The flip back to Marshall. He shot a lot of threes today. He's attempted 12 now. He's 4 of 12 from 3.
Well, he's been one of the few bright spots for Hank Pollona's team today. Hank Pollona's, decimated team with a couple of key injuries.
Hilltoppers in danger of falling to 7-9 in the conference, and likely in one of those first day scenarios as far as seeding goes. Bostick inside, double clutches. He left it short. Carpenter tipped it a couple of times, and then it's grabbed by Marshall. The Aggies haven't made a field goal in almost 6 minutes, but they still lead by 20. Good switch by Pickens. Right back to McHenry. 3 minutes left. McHenry stutters and kicks. Corner 3 for Edelin. Offensive rebound. The first of the game coming from Leroy Odiahi. The first offensive rebound of the night for WKU. McHenry back rim no good, and Cook grabs it. No field goals in almost 7 minutes for the Aggies, but it really hasn't mattered. WKU cannot creep into this deficit. It's like the old school four corners, Russ, in high school basketball here. Just kind of use some clock, get it under 10. Filipovity inside, working on Lander, and he will shoot 2 on the other side. Aggies slowing the game down.
He was out. And it left us scratching our heads the first game where he was out there, but he didn't do anything. And it just I remember how surprised we were, and then find out he's flat on his back all for the next week.
His first made free throw breaks a scoreless drought of 2:29. 1 out of 2 for Filipovity. He guards Marshall here. Marshall has to swing it for McHenry. McHenry. Top of the key to Jack Edelin. 2 minutes left. Aggies lead by 21. Corner 3 for Lander. He put more arch in that one. Filipovity has his double-double. Rebound number 10. Seven double-doubles now this year for Filipovity. Dionte Bostick, who has already attempted 7 free throws, making 4 of them, will shoot 2 more. Russ, it's always cool to win on Senior Day because then you could potentially get some of the seniors in that don't play much. You can get the seniors a little bit of a farewell tour as they head off and subs come in. One of those seniors who doesn't play much is about to come in, Christopher BQ. We've talked a lot about Christopher on past telecasts. He just works his tail off every day in practice, and he gets the chance to play here on Senior Day as he replaces Emmanuel Tshimanga, who played really well today.
Oh, you should have seen him yesterday at practice. He was eating the Tshimanga brothers alive, and Jason Hooten stopped practice and said, you guys have to step up. He's trying to make you better.
And that's the key phrase, make you better. I think he kind of understands that's his role right now, is to play that scout team role and make his teammates better. Zawdie Jackson goes off, Pickens comes in. Jackson may have 1 more year of eligibility, by the way. That Diego Pavia JUCO rule could help out Zawdie. Filipovity grabs the miss by Lander.
And Another rebound.
11. Filipovity had it poked away and stolen by Edelin. The Aggies still haven't made a field goal in almost 8 minutes. Tyrone Marshall lines up another three, almost an air ball. Edelin fouled by Osborne. Osborne fell asleep for a second, and Edelin took advantage of it.
That may be the first time I've seen Jacoby Osborne get beat from lack of effort. He just rested for one. Poor guy rested for 1 second, and he knows it. And a 5'8" guy snuck by him. I mean, he's a whirlwind of effort, and he's hyped up. So to see him relax for a second there really stood out.
Tyler Olden comes in for Western Kentucky. Carl Sharonfont and Xavier Johnson coming in for New Mexico State. Johnson, number 20 in white. And with Olden coming in, every player in uniform has played today for the Hilltoppers. Only 10 in uniform today. Filipovity goes off. Bostick goes off. So those seniors get a little bit of a send-off. We'll have senior day ceremonies when the game is complete. Pickens fires it. Xavier Johnson, a three. Missed it short. Grabbed by Jalen Dorsey. Dorsey guarded by Sharonfont. 50 seconds left. Marshall sends it in. He was bumped as well. Hilltoppers will need a heavy dose of Marshall next week to improve their seeding position, and they're going to need him a lot in the conference tournament as well. They are missing some key guys, and Marshall has really stepped up his play, and he's kind of been their only offense at times tonight, Russ.
Yeah, he's been one of the few bright spots.
Edward Namako, a junior, transfer from Georgia State from Nigeria. He comes in for Jacoby Osborne. Not a lot of guys are coming back. 9 players will be honored tonight for New Mexico State. Now, some of those guys could come back because of the JUCO rule that appears to be happening right now, but we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. It's going to be a long senior day ceremony coming up, and a lot of these guys have gone through multiple senior day ceremonies during their career. 15-second difference, game clock and shot clock. Namako swings it for Sharonfont. 4 to shoot. Post touch, BQ. Couldn't catch it. Edelin into the forecourt. And Edelin is held. The Aggies led by 14 at halftime. Right now they're +6 in half two. The key stretches in this game, Russ, the start to the game, the first 4 or 5 minutes to the game offensively, and then the start to half two. The Aggies really good offensively early on in both halves today.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but you have to look at Western Kentucky. They're thinned out, and they played so well and played so hard on Thursday night.
Aggies will improve to 16-13. They have now won 4 of their previous 5 games. They are 9-7 in Conference USA. This was a pivotal win. Hilltoppers fall to 16-13. They are 7-9